Welcome back to 605 Sports and Live Ticket TV. I'm Heath Nimke as we get you set for another coach's interview, as this is one of my favorite interviews each and every year, as I've always been able to catch up with this coach, especially over the past few years, and his dominance as a basketball program. And it was even more exciting to see his team go undefeated on their way to their first ever state title as a school. And once again, coming in as the heavy favorites with a lot of great talent returning back from that state title team a year ago. They have had dominance, including playing some of the best teams in Class A, and they are looking to repeat once again. It is our conversation with head coach Jason Kleis of the Dakota Valley Panthers. Now, today's interview is brought to you by Northern State University. At Northern State, you'll receive an education that's high quality, affordable, and personalized for you. They'll give you hands-on experience learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe and welcoming community at Northern State University. As I mentioned, Coach Kleis reminisces for a moment on what it meant last year to win a state title, how this team, even though they are back for another year, a majority of them, how it's a little bit different. And when it comes to the spotlight, yes, there was a lot of attention on this team last year, but there was even more going into this year and now throughout the year. How has the team handled the spotlight, and what is the future looking like for some? Here he is on our Live Ticket TV 605 Sports Coaches Interview. It's head coach of the Dakota Valley Panthers, Jason Kleis. Well, Coach Kleis, a big matchup for your team as you continue on with this season, getting ready for the Vermilion Tanagers. But we have to dive into this entire season, and we have to go back to last year. Of course, you and I have gotten to know each other along the way. We knew that this year was going to be very special after what you were able to accomplish with the team last year and everybody coming back. Have there really been any surprises on the way that you have played out this season so far and the way that you are still undefeated?
No, I don't think. I think we knew we'd have a good team, so I don't think our record is a shock. But I would say, we told the boys first day, we sent them a note out, and just how few teams repeat as champions and how hard it is to do. And that's kind of been our mantra all year, just to remind ourselves this is for a lot of different reasons, very difficult to repeat as champions. And only, I think, 11, 12, 13, something like that, total teams in the history of the state, all classes have ever repeated. And so our guys know that. We've been reminding them of it, and we're seeing some of those reasons on why. It's easy to get complacent. It's easy to forget about some of those little things that got you to being a great team like we were last year, and just general enthusiasm. Last year, it was all new, being as undefeated at this time, and guys were just excited every time out. It didn't matter who we were playing. Everybody was excited all the time for every win and every success, and it's just a little different this time around, but not in a bad way. It's just different challenges, and so far so good. I think our guys have handled it pretty well.
You talk about different challenges, and I know you see this as a coach. You can sit down and watch film and get to know your opponent and say, all right, we should be expecting this. But something you can't necessarily replicate is that you are going to get each team's best shot, right? They play with nothing to lose. It's the number one team against Dakota Valley. Yeah. What's that been like, always getting the best shot from each and every team?
Yeah, that is probably a surprise. We knew that was a real thing, and then told our guys and expected that, but that's probably been bigger deal than we expected. We get down 5 early in a game, and teams are just jacked and excited, and that's awesome. That's a credit to our guys on how excited everybody is to play us. But that effect has been real, and really gotten crowds into games and gotten other teams rolling on us, and they just seem to make more shots and play harder against us than maybe they did last year. And So it's a good position to be in. It's not a bad thing, but it certainly is a real effect. And I think for the most part, our guys have handled it well, but it's made for a little tougher path than maybe we thought.
You have played in some of the biggest classics when it comes to the state of South Dakota. And to be honest with you, Coach Kleis, you've always been put as that last team, that the big matchup is like what they'll call it.
Yeah.
And you get to also not only see the best of what each team offers, but the best of the best. Who has provided the biggest challenge for your team so far this season?
Oh, I think it's hard to pick one because our closest games have really been against teams that I think most people would say that we should be heavily favored in. Sioux Valley's got a great team. We kind of got rolling on them and played great. And Whole Western is a great team. We played them just this past weekend, and they came back, cut it in the third quarter, cut it down to 3, and made a great game of it. But our guys have been ready for those big games this year. And so I think some of the other games have been a little more challenging where maybe we don't pass the ball as much as we need. We played Elk Point, and I'd say they have a really good team this year. This is the best team we've seen there. And I thought they played great, but we didn't maybe move the ball as well as we needed to, and maybe defensively got a little lax at times there. And good wake-up call because we could easily lost that game. And so, it's hard to pinpoint one, but we've had a lot of challenges, a lot of tests, and that's maybe gone a long ways as well to make our guys hard to be up for every single one of them. So maybe our guys are picking their spots a little too much, but overall, like I said, pretty pleased with what they're doing.
As I mentioned, this was a team that was returning. We knew there was a lot of excitement around it. Of course, you mentioned the Elk Point Jefferson game. Isaac just set a record there for most points for Dakota Valley school history. He's playing lights out. You have Rosenquist Jr., of course, Winger. How much have the guys come together this season and played as a team, even though you mentioned they haven't necessarily been passing right at times, but how has there been even more of a team connection than there was last year?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know that it's been better than last year. Last year, we thought that was our secret sauce. Just it was as good as I've ever seen in high school coaching, and just our guys just bought into seeking the easy play and getting everybody involved and finding the open guy, and just that happened really naturally last year. This year's been a little different. We've got several guys thinking about or going to play college basketball and trying to make decisions. We got a lot of numbers floating around, and you can just see there's a lot more in their heads and a lot more thought process. Sometimes before moving the ball and finding the open guy. So that's been our focus here of late, is really to get back to making the easy play. We've got capable guys at every position that can score, and we're making a conscious effort to have shooters on the floor. So, when teams are taking a few guys away, we've got people to pass it to that are open and can knock the shot in. So, I don't know that that's been better this year. I think maybe that has been a challenge a little bit more, but I think we're confident our kids are figuring it out and going to be in good shape on that and do at least the things that we need to do to be in a position to have a chance at the end. So that's the goal anyway. But last year would have been tough to top for that because that group was pretty special that way.
Do you think, and I know you don't mean this in a bad way, but do you think with all the attention you get, not just from doing local media games and doing interviews like this, but I mean, there's always seems to be a camera, whatever gym you play in, whatever, down in Sioux City, the cameras are there. Then you go up to Sioux Falls, the cameras are there. Do you wish sometimes you could get away a little bit from the media and just get back to old school basketball?
Yeah, our guys have handled that great. I think as a coach, you get stressed and worried about that a little bit, but that's some of the fun with high school basketball. And I would have probably been real wound up about that 10 years ago and superstitious. And now I'm kind of getting to be a big old teddy bear and just like, this is kind of fun for those kids to see themselves on the news and to get different kids on there and to get clips. And, if we all played in an empty gym every night, it wouldn't be near as much fun. And so you kind of like that for the kids the older I get, and just try to embrace it maybe a little bit more than be scared of it. But you also have to refocus up and make sure the guys understand the important things and that is fun and stuff to look back on someday. But so it's a balance. I think our guys have handled it well.
2 years ago, this was a matchup of 1 versus 2. Everyone was excited to see it in Vermilion. Of course, the Tanagers aren't where they were 2 years ago. In 2 years, you have only gotten better and added a state title underneath your belt. How excited and how much revenge do you want heading back into the birdcage?
Well, I told you before we went online here officially that I still have cold sweats about that game. We went into that game, it was a big game for seed points and all that, and we just got drilled. The Tanagers played awesome, and they always seem to have an extra step in their GM, and so we'll remind our guys of that tomorrow. And whether their record's is good or not, or whatever, we know they're going to come out and play hard and be fired up for this game. So that game still gives me a little shakes because that was a tough one, and they played awesome. But hopefully tomorrow we'll come out and just block everything else out, but take it seriously and know it's going to be tough because I think the Tanagers will probably play their best game of the year. They'll be fired up, and on their home floor it'll be fun. So hopefully we can avoid a repeat of what happened there last time.
Whether you win or lose out, whatever happens down the stretch of this season, you're going to make the postseason. You're going to be in a great spot in the regions. As we know, you are the favorites to win it all. And with the seniors, you look at the schedule that's remaining. You're going to have 2 playoff home games in the region, but you only have a couple more home games left on the schedule. Yeah. When you look at these guys, how important have you had that conversation yet? That's time to start enjoying this.
No, we haven't. We're getting there though. I think this group is extra special to me. I've watched these kids grow up since they were little. They've been along for the ride. My son's in that grade, and so I watch these kids at different state tournaments with their older brothers and with my son, and I kind of get choked up a little bit when I think about them. So it's maybe a little extra tough for the old man, for me. So as long as I've been coaching and seeing these guys grow up, for them, it's just another part of the journey, I think. And so, we have so few home games this year, 6 or 7 total. Wow. So getting those extra 2 in regions, or hopefully 2 if we win that first one, yeah, is awesome. Is awesome for our seniors to get a little more taste of the home crowd, and to know that senior night is not the end of the road probably at home, because we've really grown to love playing in our gym and have played fantastic in our gym here the last few years. And so we're excited to have that position hopefully in the region, unless we have a few unexpected bumps here at the end. It looks like we're in a pretty good position in the region. So we'll see what happens, but excited to at least have a couple, 3 more.
Once again here on Live Ticket TV and 605 Sports, that is head coach Jason Kleis of the Dakota Valley Panthers, as I was able to catch up with him right before his matchup against the Vermilion Tanagers. As he mentioned, there are a few more games coming up at home, and just a huge shout out once again to Coach Kleis. As I mentioned here with our intro, I have gotten my chance to really get to know Coach Kleis over these past couple of seasons. And I'm going to be honest with you, just a very, very kind-hearted spirit, always looking out for others, always looking out for his team. He also mentioned something I probably didn't hit enough on, and you could tell it in his voice as well. This season certainly is special for the Panthers, not because they're undefeated, not because they've had all this success, but as he mentioned, his son is a part of this, and his son has just been a big part that maybe isn't always seen when it comes to the big numbers. Sam Kleis doesn't necessarily play a lot, but when you're able to coach along next to your son, it means something even more special, and it just has been an amazing run that Coach Kleis has been able to enjoy. Yes, with a lot of great talent. It's even more special when you get to do it right next to your son. And also a shout out to Coach Kleis. I know he has been doing a little bit of double duty in there too, because he has also had the focus on his daughter that is a part of the varsity squad on the girls' side. But as I mentioned, Coach Kleis, an outstanding coach, an even better man. And if you've never got your chance to talk to Coach Kleis, I hope one day you can, because it's an amazing conversation. As I mentioned, always caring about his team. We thank Coach Kleis once again for catching up with us here on 605 Sports and Live Ticket TV. It'll be exciting to see how these Panthers continue on, and we'll see if maybe we can't catch up with him on his way to see if the Panthers can't win another state title. For 605 Sports and Live Ticket TV, I'm Heath Nimke.